You are sitting alone in a room right now. No one is watching you. No one is listening. And yet, some part of your brain refuses to believe that. It keeps checking. It keeps scanning the doorway, the hallway, the silence, because for most of human history, being alone was never actually safe. And your brain never got the memo that things changed. In the 1990s, a psychologist named Kipling Williams was walking his dog in a park when a frisbee landed near his feet. He threw it back. The two players waved thanks, then, for reasons he never understood, they kept throwing to each other and stopped, including him entirely. It lasted maybe 2 minutes. He said it felt like much longer, and it bothered him for the rest of the day. That small moment and became one of the most cited experiments in social psychology. Williams built a version of it in the lab. He called it Cyberball. Participants believed they were playing a simple game of catch online with two other people. In reality, the other players were computer programs. Partway through, the program simply stopped passing the ball to the participant. No insults, no conflict, just silence and exclusion. Brain scans during this moment showed something startling. The same regions that light up during physical pain, the anterior cingulate cortex among them, activated when people were left out of a game of digital catch. Being ignored didn't just feel bad. Your brain processed it the same way it processes a burn or a cut. Why would a species build pain circuitry for something as small as not getting a ball thrown to you? The answer stretches back long before frisbees, before cyberball, before language itself. For roughly 200,000 years, Homo sapiens survived almost exclusively in small, tightly bonded groups. Anthropologist Robin Dunbar has spent decades studying the size of these groups, and his research suggests something specific. The human brain, particularly the neocortex, appears optimized for maintaining relationships with around 150 people, not more. Dunbar's number, as it came to be called, wasn't arbitrary. It matched the upper limit of group sizes found in hunter-gatherer bands, military companies, and even modern office departments that function well. Inside those groups, exclusion was not an inconvenience. It was closer to a death sentence. A person cast out of the group lost access to shared food, shared warning systems, shared defense against predators and rival groups. Alone on the savannah, a human was slow, weak-clawed, and easy prey. The group was the armor. Strip it away, and the individual was exposed in every sense of the word. So evolution did something efficient. It wired the threat of exclusion directly into the pain response. You don't have to consciously reason your way into fearing isolation. Your nervous system does it automatically, the same way it flinches from fire before you've thought about heat. This explains something strange about modern life, doesn't it? You can be surrounded by people at a party, in an office, on a crowded train, and still feel a specific gnawing loneliness, not because you're truly unsafe. Your body doesn't know the difference between ancient exclusion and a text message left unread. Psychologist John Cacioppo, who spent much of his career studying loneliness at the University of Chicago, found that chronic loneliness produces measurable physiological effects: elevated cortisol, disrupted sleep, inflammation markers similar to those seen in people under long-term physical stress. His research described loneliness not as a mood, but as a biological alarm state, comparable to hunger or thirst. Hunger tells you the body needs food. Loneliness tells you the group needs repairing. The problem is that alarm system was built for a world of 150 familiar faces, not a world of scrolling feeds and notification counts. Here is where it gets stranger. Even when you are completely physically alone, your brain often behaves as though it is being watched. Researchers studying what's sometimes called the audience effect have found that people alter their behavior, their posture, even their moral decisions when they merely believe they might be observed, sometimes triggered by nothing more than a pair of eyes printed on a poster nearby. One well-known field study placed simple eye images above an honesty box coffee station in a university break room. Contributions nearly tripled compared to weeks when a neutral image like flowers hung in the same spot. No one was actually watching. Just the suggestion of eyes was enough. Why would a sketch of eyes change how much money you leave for coffee? Because for nearly all of human history, someone probably was watching. Small bands lived in constant proximity. Reputation wasn't an abstract concept, it was survival currency. If you stole, if you cheated, if you slacked while others hunted, the group knew by nightfall, and a bad reputation could get you left behind on the next migration. So your brain, built in a kind of default assumption, behave as though you're seen, because for most of your species' existence, you probably were. This is likely part of why solitude, real solitude, without screens or noise or imagined eyes, can feel so uncomfortable to modern humans. It isn't natural silence to your nervous system, it's an anomaly. Studies on solitary confinement, though at a far more extreme end, show how quickly the human mind can begin to fray without social contact, sometimes within days. You were never designed to be fully alone, not really. Even your inner monologue, that voice narrating your thoughts right now, appears to be partly social in origin. Some researchers argue that inner speech develops from childhood conversations with caregivers, gradually internalized until it becomes the voice you think in. In a sense, you carry a compressed version of other people inside your own head, whispering, reasoning, judging, comforting. So when you feel like you're never truly by yourself, you might be more correct than you realize. Think about the last time you scrolled through your phone in an empty room, not because you needed information, just to feel less alone. That urge isn't weakness. It's an ancient alarm going off in a body that hasn't updated its threat detection since the Pleistocene. Modern life offers strange substitutes for the group your ancestors relied on: likes instead of shared meals, followers instead of a hunting party, group chats instead of a fire circle. They activate the same reward circuitry, just enough to quiet the alarm, rarely enough to fully satisfy it, which might explain why so many people report feeling lonelier than ever in the most connected era humans have ever built. The Cyberball experiment wasn't really about a video game. It was a small window into something ancient and constant, a monitoring system running quietly in the background of every human mind, checking, always checking, whether you still belong. You are sitting alone in a room right now, or close to it, and some part of you still isn't sure that's true.